Hello, Pacific Northwest Conference family. I bring you greetings from the Midwinter Conference here in Denver. I'm recording this towards the end of it. It has been an incredible week, and I want to thank you personally for investing in your ministry staff to be here. I hope that they come back refreshed and renewed and inspired to continue to be a blessing to you. Hey, last month I shared about being on Kauai, doing some investigation of my family, and I want to share a little bit more of what I learned. As I mentioned, my great great grandfather immigrated in 1876. I think that's a correction from last month, actually, 1876, and owned a general merchandise store, part owner, and was part owner of a rice farm. Now, in 1901, he did a lot of legal work to prove Hawaiian birth of his son, born in 1888. It was still the Kingdom of Hawaii, but in 1901, he proved Hawaiian birth so that he could prove his citizenship, and that proved to be instrumental when my great-grandfather became an adult and migrated over to the San Francisco Bay Area, to Oakland, my hometown, being able to be a citizen. So hugely instrumental. So he did that in 1901. In 1903, he went back to China and tried to come back to Hawaii in 1904. And he was stopped at the harbor there in Honolulu, and was put into a detention center. We need to remember our U.S. history that in 1882, our country passed a law barring Chinese from immigrating into the country. Highly educated merchants, business people were allowed in, but laborers were across the board not allowed in. This is because of, you think about Industrial Revolution, you think about all the labor unions. The Chinese were the target of our society. So my great-great-grandfather comes into the harbor there in Honolulu, is detained, and is trying to prove that he is a merchant. So he goes through this whole legal process, was not given due process, and he hires a lawyer to try to go through the paperwork of proving that he indeed is a merchant. He's not given due process. The paperwork is filed to delay the process of deportation, but he finally gets the two white witnesses to submit their testimonies to the U.S. immigration. Despite this, despite having paperwork showing that he indeed is a merchant of this general merchandise store and the rice farm, he was deported in 1904. And he lost everything that he had invested in there on Kauai. I share this story with you because I sit here today after being here at Midwinter and hearing so many stories from our immigrant pastors about how scared they are, about loved ones that have been threatened, about children. One of our leaders, his daughter was threatened at school when asked, where were your parents born? Where were you born? Oh, I'm going to call ICE on you. Leaders here in Denver that are scared to actually travel to the Denver airport tomorrow, not knowing if they'll be safe, but also being inspired by their faith and inspired by their resilience. Friends, my heart is breaking for them. And we need to step up as the church. That we need to get out of our comfort zones and get out of the ins and outs of our everyday rhythms. And we need to see this moment where we have an opportunity to come alongside our fellow mission friends in our immigrant churches, in our conference. For those of us, who have immigrants in your communities and that you serve immigrants, whether it be through your food pantries or through your after-school programs or through your clothes closets. For those of you who are sharing your campus with immigrant congregations, whether they be covenant churches officially or not, it is time for us to come alongside our neighbors, to follow our biblical mandate to care for the immigrants and for the aliens and for those who are so challenged. Friends, it breaks my heart that in 125 years since my great-great-grandfather went through his whole process, that nothing has changed. That nothing has changed. It has to change now. Church, we need to be the church. And so I've asked my staff to work on gathering resources for you as the church. I'm sure that some of you are already tapped into some of those, and I hope that you can put those resources into the comments. But we're working to get resources to you to help train your people, to help our immigrant community to know what their rights are. But friends, I talk to these folks, and many have been here for 10, 20, 25 years. And we talk about our broken immigration process, and we talk about getting it in a line, but there is no line for them to get in. It's a broken system. It's a complex system. But we know that we hear the stories of our brothers and sisters that have fled war and poverty and all kinds of different things in their home countries. And they have been here, and they are in our churches. And I don't want to get political about this at all. I just want us to do what Jesus called us to do and to love our neighbors. Love our neighbors, to come alongside them and to protect them. So church, I call us to step up. I call us to step in. I call us to be what we have so earnestly claimed ourselves to be as mission friends, as followers of Christ. And so, friends, let us be fervent in prayer in these days. Let's keep our eyes open, but let us step out of our comfort zone. May God protect all of our churches, all of our people. May God protect our country. And I pray that we would continue to be on our knees and be fervent. God bless you, dear family.